Hello everyone, I'm Exodia, and today we're doing part 7 in our Roblox Studio beginner scripting series. Now today, in this video, we'll be covering repeat as well as tables. Now, as always, make a new base plate and then create a new script in ServerScript service and call it whatever you want to help keep yourself organized. For me, I have it called Roblox Scripting Beginner Series Episode 7. Let's get right into this. What do we need to know about repeating? Now, if you watched the last video where I covered while loops, then repeating is very similar to that. Now, with while loops, we know that there is a condition that must be met while condition do, and then with our condition, if that condition is met, so it yields a true value, then the code inside of here will repeat an indefinite amount of times until that condition is no longer met. With repeat, it's structured similarly, however, the code will execute an infinite amount of times so long as the condition is not met. So basically what repeat does is it will repeat the code until your condition is met. So as you can see here, to start making repeat, you write repeat on your first line, and then you drop a line in an until will pop up instead of an end. Now in this line, this is where we put our condition. Now, to make our condition, we can do something like make a variable. If you don't know what a variable is, or you're not familiar with them, you could think of it as a box. There are 5 main values in Roblox Studio's Lua, which is object values, string values, number values, integer values, and Boolean values. A string, a piece of text, a number, a decimal number, an integer number, a whole number, an object value, an object inside of your game, or a boolean, a true or false value, can all be stored inside of a variable. So in this case, we will make local integer equals 10. And then what we could do in this repeat until is we can do until number, or until integer is less than 5. And then we can do number, or integer minus equal 1. Now when we write minus equal, it's basically subtracting 1 from the value. Another way you can do this is integer equals integer minus 1. However, minus equals 1 is a lot shorter and a lot easier to do, so we'll write it like that. Now, just like with while loops, the code executes, I believe, 60 times a second. So it can really overflow your game and cause it to crash if you don't have some sort of yield in there. So in this, we will put a wait 1 right after we subtract a number. And then before that, we will print it. Kind of like if we were making a countdown. Now if we run this code and look at our output, 10, 9, we should see it's counting down. And then once it gets to 5, it no longer goes down because we are repeating the code until the value is less than 5. Now that's really it with repeat. It's very similar to while loops. So functionally you could use either of them. I personally prefer while loops. But yeah, they're both. It's a very useful tool, just like with while loops, that you can use in your game. And yeah, so now we'll move on to tables. Now, a table can store many objects inside of it. So, say you want to store a list of numbers. Maybe you want to do like 1, 2, 3. You want to store those 3 numbers. You can make a table for that. Now, in Roblox's Lua, how we make a table is we do local table name. And here it's just like if we were making a variable, we'd write any name for our table here, and then we'd set that equal to curly brackets. And then there are 2 main methods that we need to know for tables, which is Table.insert and Table.remove. Now, what Table.insert does is it allows us to insert things into our table. So we can make some variables, local number 1 equals 5, local number 2 equals 8. We can insert these numbers into our table. As you could see here, it says void insert, and the table list, so in this case it would be table name, then we'd have a comma, number position, then the value. So here we could just write 5, because if we don't have anything for this middle, it'll just be like nil, or like it'll default to the lowest. So this is how we do table.insert. We have our table name, then the value we want to insert. Now you could write 5 if you want to insert it, or you could write your variable name. It doesn't really matter, but you'd still be inserting it into the table. And then we could print table name, do some square brackets, and then do 1. Now what this will do is it will get the first item inside of the table, and then we can print that item. So in this case, it prints the 5 that we added into our table. Tables will be, by the way, because we're using tables, how we can use them in our game is, say you want to do a round-based game and you want to get the players that are going to be inside of your round. So just in case, like if a player joins late, you don't want them to be inside the player pool for the current round going on inside of your game. So you'll have a table of the players currently active in the game to account for anybody leaving or joining, or people that are even AFK, so they don't get inserted into the game. So yeah, this is table.insert. There's also table.remove. Now what table.remove does is we can remove from our table name, we can remove something from that index. So we can remove the 5, and then if we print table name, if we print the first item there, this should be a nil value. So as you can see, we get a nil value the second time we print because we removed it. Now what if we want to insert multiple items into our table? Well, thankfully with table.insert, we can insert as many values as we want into our table. So in this case we would do table.insert table name number 2, and this will get inserted as the second item in our table. So we can print table name and then 2, and then in this case, this time when we remove the first value, the second value that we added, number 2, is going to get bumped up to the first value inside of our table. So it should print the 8. Yep. As instead of the 5, or instead of even nil. This is a basic overview of tables. Tables are very useful when you're making a game in Roblox, as you could do so much with them. You could store a lot of data for your game, like as I said, the players in a round, or maybe you're making an inventory system and you have to store the items in a player's inventory. You could make a table for their inventory. And also making a data store for that. You could save tables as with data stores for your player data. Tables are a very useful item, and I will also link some more pages that you can use to learn them, because this is just a simple overview, and tables are so useful for making your game that I would really prefer if you guys understood how to use them properly. But yeah, this is a basic understanding of table.insert and table.remove though, so you know how to add and subtract values from your table. So yeah, I believe next video will be for loops. Probably going to be my favorite topic we've covered so far, and it'll also be the, for loops and breaking, when you want to break out of a loop. That'll be the last video in our beginner scripting tutorial series. Then I'll probably start the advanced series after that, just for a little update, like step up the level, either that, or I might post some external type of tutorials, like maybe something like a game making series where I show you how to make a simulator, for example. I don't know. I'd love to get some comments to see what you guys would like to have me help you guys make, or anything you want for a tutorial before I make the advanced series. But if I don't get anything really, I'm just going to segue into the advanced series and we'll get going with that. So yeah, if you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, if you think I could have done a better job, let me know how, or if you're in need of some help, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to help you the best I can. So yeah, see you.